Well, that's exactly why we're here today. We're going deep diving into some really timely stuff. Opportunities that could actually mean more cash in your wallet
Mm.
or, getting access to resources that can help you out. Consider this like your personal cheat sheet to what's available right now.
Absolutely. We've combed through a ton of information, and I mean a ton. We're talking federal tax credits you might not even know about, programs in your own backyard, even some class action settlements with deadlines like right around the corner. And the mission here is simple. We want to make sure you're in the know so you don't miss out on anything that could benefit you.
Right on. Our main source for all this is it's a super detailed video transcript. They go through programs, tax breaks, legal settlements, the works. But we're going to cut to the chase. Who qualifies, what you got to do, and most importantly, when you got to do it by. So you can decide, hey, is this worth my time? And can I get it done before it's too late? No more confusion, just straight up info you can actually use. So let's jump right in. First up, something you might not expect. The Recovery Rebate Credit.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Even though those third stimulus checks, the economic impact payments, they went out back in 2021, there are still folks out there who could get up to $1,400 per person.
No kidding. There are a few reasons you might be in this boat. Maybe you never got that third payment, or maybe what you got wasn't the full amount based on your 2021 situation. For example, if you didn't file taxes that year, but your income was low enough to qualify, you could still claim it. Or let's say you had a new dependent in 2021, a baby perhaps. That could make you eligible for more too. Even if you don't usually file taxes, it's worth checking this one out.
The key here is filing a 2021 tax return. That's how the IRS knows to even consider you for this credit. But there's a catch. You can't just do this whenever. The absolute deadline to get that 2021 return in and claim the recovery rebate credit is April 15th, 2025. So if any of this is ringing a bell, now's the time to get moving.
Definitely. And hey, if filing taxes from a few years back sounds like a total headache, there's help out there.
Yeah.
The VITA program, that's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, they offer free help to people who meet certain income requirements. And if you're senior, your local area agency on aging, they might have resources or know of programs that can help. We really don't want you to miss out on money that's rightfully yours. So, April 15th, 2025, that's the date to remember for that 2021 return. Okay, shifting gears to another tax break that could be pretty huge,
Yeah.
the Earned Income Tax Credit, or EITC for short.
The EITC is, well, it's all about giving a boost to folks with low to moderate incomes. It's meant to help working people make ends meet. And the amounts we're talking about, they're not chump change. You could get up to $7,430 if you've got 3 or more qualifying kids. Even if you don't have kids, you could still get up to $632.
I mean, that's real money. But get this, and this is what blew my mind. Our source says something like 20% of people who qualify for the EITC, they never claim it. That's a lot of people missing out on money that's meant for them. We want to make sure you're not one of them.
Absolutely. So please do yourself a favor and look into the EITC. See if you qualify. And if you're not sure, talk to a tax pro. A lot of them will do a free consultation just to help you figure things out.
Solid advice. Okay, sticking with the saving money theme, let's talk about property taxes. This one's for all you homeowners out there, especially seniors, veterans, or anyone with a lower income. You might be able to catch a break.
The thing about property taxes is there are ways to lower what you owe. Exemptions, rebates, things like that. It's all about reducing that tax burden. But, and this is a big but, the rules and the deadlines, they change all over the place. Different states, different counties, even different cities can have their own programs.
So true. It's all about being proactive and doing your research locally. Your best bet is to call up your local tax assessor's office. They'll have all the up-to-date info on what's available in your area and what the deadlines are. Our source actually shared a story about how their mortgage went down by over $100 a month just from getting a property tax exemption. That's the kind of impact we're talking about.
Yeah, that story really highlights how much these local programs can help. Now, moving away from taxes for a sec, our source mentioned something pretty cool happening in April. It's National Rebuilding Month.
Right. And during National Rebuilding Month, this awesome organization called Rebuilding Together, they do some amazing work. On the last Saturday of April, they have this big event where volunteers get together to help low-income homeowners with repairs and stuff.
It's more than just fixing a leaky faucet or a wobbly step. It's about making sure people have safe, healthy homes and building community in the process. If you think this could be helpful for you, or if you're interested in volunteering, reach out to your local Rebuilding Together affiliate. They'll have all the details about events in your area.
Okay, now we're getting into gotta act fast territory. Class action settlements. These are cases where you might be able to get some money back if you were part of a certain group that was affected. We're going to run through these quick, hitting the highlights, and of course, those deadlines.
Pay attention here, folks, because this is where knowing the details can really pay off. First up, a settlement for Kia owners. This one's about certain Kia models that didn't have engine immobilizers, which is an anti-theft system. If you had one of those Kias, you could get a payout, anywhere from $250 to 60% of your car's value, depending on the situation. Deadline to file a claim, May 3rd. So, yeah, gotta move on this one.
Next, even if you weren't a member, if you ever got a robocall from United Healthcare, listen up. There's a settlement that could mean a nice chunk of change back in your pocket. Payouts are estimated to be anywhere from $350 to $11,000 per person. Deadline for this one is April 15th. Definitely worth checking out if those calls sound familiar.
And if you got calls from the credit wholesale companies, specifically between 2014 and 2023, there's a Wells Fargo settlement you should know about. Payouts for this one are between $86 and $5,000 per call, depending on how many times they bugged you. But the deadline to file a claim is even sooner, April 11th.
Apple Watch fans, this one's for you. If you owned a Series 1, 2, or 3 Apple Watch, you might be able to get a refund. Settlement's going on.
Yeah.
Deadline for this one is April 10th, and our source mentioned that if you go for direct deposit, you might get your money faster. Just a heads up.
Now, switching to the pharmacy world, Walgreens has a settlement related to their prescription pricing. If you were part of their prescription savings club, you could be eligible for a share of a $100 million payout. Deadline to file a claim for that one is April 17th.
And for all the plant-based eaters out there, if you ever bought Beyond Meat products, you can get some money back. They're offering $2 per item, up to $10 without a receipt. If you kept your receipts, there's no limit to how many items you can claim. Deadline for this one is April 14th.
Okay, last couple here. If you got marketing calls from a company called Everything Breaks, anytime between March 2023 and March 2024, there's a settlement for that too. Payouts are estimated between $36 and $144. Deadline's coming up fast, though, April 9th.
And finally, this one's a biggie. If you ever sold a house and had to pay a broker commission, there's a class action lawsuit you might be part of. Our source says there are a lot of moving parts with this one, and the deadline's coming up quick. So it's worth doing some digging if this sounds like you. You could get a pretty decent payout. So that's the rundown of those class action settlements. Please, please, check those deadlines and take action if any of them apply to you.
Yeah, it's a great reminder that staying informed about this kind of stuff can really pay off, sometimes literally. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about opportunities that are specific to certain states. These are programs tailored to where you live, so listen closely to see if yours is mentioned.
First up, Alabama residents. If you've got a kid in school, there's a program called the Choose Act that might be able to help with finances. This one's for households with an income under 300% of the federal poverty level, so it covers a pretty wide range. But the deadline to apply is April 7th, so you got to act fast.
Over in California, things are brewing with a new guaranteed income program, specifically for older adults. Applications aren't open yet, but they're looking for an organization to run it and hoping to have it up and running by June. So if you're in California or know someone who might be interested, keep an eye out for updates.
Connecticut folks, there are some serious tax benefits you might be eligible for. We're talking over $14,000 through the state's EITC and child tax credit programs. And you might qualify even if you don't normally file federal taxes. Definitely worth looking into. And just a reminder, the general tax deadline is April 15th.
Georgia residents, if you've got kids in grades K through 12, there's a new program called the Georgia Promise Scholarship. This one offers up to $6,500 per year that you can use for private school tuition, tutoring, and other educational expenses. First application window closes April 15th, and our source said there might be limited spots, so apply ASCP if you're interested.
Kansas folks, some of you might qualify for a state tax rate rebate, but heads up, you got to apply again this year, even if you got it before. Deadline is April 15th, and they'll be mailing those rebates out in July. And another thing for Kansas families, you can apply for Sunbuck right now. This program helps cover grocery costs over the summer. Applications are open through August, and the benefits start going out in April.
Last but not least, Louisiana families. There's the Gator Scholarship ESA program. This helps with saving for education expenses. Deadline to apply for this one is also April 15th, so Louisiana residents, make sure you check that out before the deadline.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground today. We talked about federal tax credits that are still up for grabs, programs to help fix up your home, class action settlements with those super important deadlines, and even state-specific programs that could offer a helping hand. Just by listening to this deep dive, you've already taken a huge step in the right direction.
Totally. We really encourage you to look into any of these programs or settlements that you think might apply to you, especially since those deadlines are creeping up. Don't let these opportunities pass you by. Even what seems like a small amount of money or help can make a real difference.
Here's something to think about. In this day and age where we're constantly drowning in information, just being aware of what's out there and being proactive about it, that's powerful. Think about what you could do with some extra cash from a settlement or the help from one of these programs. Even a little bit, if you use it wisely, it can really improve your financial situation. It's all about taking control and making sure you're not missing out on anything you deserve.